You know what time it is. Woo! Get into it! Get into it! Yes! Hi, y'all. It's Storytime with Chris. So today's going to be a very, and I mean very short video. However, I will be back later on this evening to read our next book. Now, before I start, I have to preface this by saying I made a mistake last video in the chronological order of the Prydain Chronicles, having read them before, but it's been a long time prior to me rereading them again for you all. I got my books mixed up. So, the next book we're reading is not The Castle of Lyr. It actually is The Black Cauldron, which I mistakenly said that this was the third book of the series, when in reality, The Castle of Lyr is the third book, this is the second book, the fourth book is Taran the Wanderer, and the last book is The High King. So, I just wanted to clarify that. So tonight, we'll be back to read the first chapter of The Black Cauldron. And I didn't realize that my mic is not connected. I didn't realize my mic is not connected. I'm so sorry. I'm messing up. Hold on, y'all. I am all over the place today. I'm having a really good day today. It's just that I'm just a bit discombobulated because I had to take care of some other stuff earlier today, but that's fine. Today is still a good day. Life is serendipitous and unpredictable, so things will happen that may not always go as planned. But we are here. We're going to have a good time. Like I said, I'll be back later on tonight on Facebook to read the next book in the series for you. So we'll go ahead and get that done. But for now, we'll go ahead and read the last chapter of the Book of Three. And like I always say, you don't have to watch these videos when they go live. You're more than welcome to watch them in your downtime, leisurely time, nap time, work time, chilling time, cool, max, and relaxing time. Whatever time you feel fit to hear a melodious, highly animated voice to bring you magical stories of various styles and tastes. No matter how old or young you are, you should always be reading. So let me change the camera. Okay, that's a lot better. So I know we don't have music right now because I'm having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment. So please bear with me. All right. So the last time we were here, I shouldn't say spoiler alert because I would hope that you would listen to the previous chapters prior to this last one. So in the previous chapter, Taran had inadvertently destroyed the Horned King. He burst into flames and caught on fire and burned to the ground. He's gone. So this was done because Taran had forcibly tried to unsheath Durnwyn, which was the sword that he found in the king's tomb under the Spiral Castle. And it's a magic sword. It's a powerfully magic sword, but it's only going to work for someone who is worthy of its power. Which the person worthy of its power is a character that kind of went away for a couple of chapters, Prince Gwydion. So Prince Gwydion is the owner of Durnwyn at this moment in time, and Taran has been asleep because he's been in recovery because he was badly burned and injured from trying to forcibly unsheath the sword from its scabbard. And so Eilonwy and Gurgi and Fluder and Doli basically have been waiting for him to wake up, and Prince Gwydion has been really gracious and allowing them gifts for their hard work and servitude. And Taran just basically was like, I would never ask anything of a friend. Just take me home. Just take me back home to Caer Dallben. So that is what we're going to read about next. Chapter 20. The journey to Caer Dallben was swift and unhindered, for the lords of the southern Cantreaves, their power broken, had slunk back each to his own tribe throne. Taran and his companions, with Gwydion himself leading, rode south through the valley of Ystrad. Eilonwy, who had heard so much of Taran's talk of Call and Dallben, would not be denied a visit, and she too rode with them. Gwydion had given each of the companions a handsome steed. To Taran he had given the finest, the grey silver-maned stallion Melonlass of the lineage of Melangar, and as swift, Henwin rode triumphantly on a horse litter, looking intensely pleased with herself. Caer Dallben had never been so joyous a welcome, though by this time Taran was not positive about what Dallben had or had not seen, with such feasting that even Gurgi had his fill for once. Cole embraced Taran, who was amazed that such a hero would deign to remember an assistant peacekeeper as well as Eilonwy. Henwin and anyone else he could get his hands on. His face beamed like a winter fire, and his bald crown glowed with delight. Dallben interrupted his meditations to be present at the feast, though soon after the festivities he withdrew to his chamber and was not seen for some time. Later, he and Gwydion spent several hours alone, for there were more important matters Gwydion would reveal only to the old enchanter. Gurgi, making himself completely at home, snored under a pile of hay in the barn, while Fflewddur and Dolly went off exploring. Taran showed Eilonwy Henwin's enclosure, where the pig chuckled and grunted as happily as before.
"So this is where it all began," Eilonwy said. "I don't want to sound critical, but I don't think you should have had all that trouble keeping her in. Caer Dallben is as lovely as you say, and you should be glad to be home."
She went on.
"It's like suddenly remembering where you put something you've been looking for."
"Yes, I suppose it is," Taran said, leaning on the rail and examining it closely.
"What will you do now?" asked Eilonwy. "I expect you'll go back to assistant pig-keeping."
Without looking up, Taran nodded. "Eilonwy," he said with hesitation, "I was hoping... I was wondering..." Before he could finish, Cole came hurrying up and whispered that Dallben would like to see him privately. "Eilonwy," Taran began again, and suddenly stopped abruptly and strode off to the cottage. When he entered the chamber, Dallben was writing with a great quill in the Book of Three. As soon as he saw Taran, he shut the volume quickly and put it aside.
"Well now," Dallben said, "I should like the two of us to speak quietly to each other. First, I am interested to learn what you think of being a hero. I dare say you feel rather proud of yourself, although," he added, "I did not gain that impression from your face."
"I have no just cause for pride," Taran said, taking his usual place on the familiar bench. "It was Gwydion who destroyed the Horned King, and Henwin helped him do it. But Gurgi, not I, found her. Dolly and Fflewddur fought gloriously while I was wounded by a sword I had no right to draw, and Eilonwy was on the one who took the sword from the burrow in the first place. As for me, what I mostly did was make mistakes."
My, said Dallben. "Those are complaints enough to dampen the merriest feast. Though what you say may be true, you have cause for a certain pride. Nevertheless, it was you who held the companions together and led them. You did what you set out to do, and Henwin is safely back with us. If you made mistakes, you recognize them, and as I told you, there are times when the seeking counts more than the finding."
"Does it truly matter," Dallben went on, "which of you did what, since all share the same goal and the same danger? Nothing we do is ever done entirely alone. There is a part of us in everyone else. You, of all people, should know that. From what I hear, you have been as impetuous as your friend Fflewddur. I've been told, among other things, of a night when you dove headfirst into a thorn bush, and you've certainly felt as sorry for yourself as Gurgi, and, like Dolly, striven for the impossible." "Yes," admitted Taran, "but that's not all that troubles me. I've dreamed often of Caer Dallben, and I love it, and you and Cole more than ever. I ask for nothing better than to be home, and my heart rejoices, yet it is a curious feeling. I have returned to the chamber I slept in and found it smaller than I remember. The fields are beautiful, yet not quite as I recall them, and I am troubled, for I wonder now if I am to be a stranger in my own home." Dallben shook his head.
"No, that you shall never be, but it is not Caer Dallben which has grown smaller. You have grown bigger. That is the way of it."
"And there's Eilonwy," Taran said. "What will become of her? Is it possible you would let her stay with us?" Dallben pursed his lips and toyed with the pages of the Book of Three.
By all rights, he said, the princess should be returned to her kinsman. Yes, she is a princess, did she not tell you? But there is no hurry about that. She might consent to stay, perhaps if you spoke to her. Taran sprang to his feet. I shall. He hurried from the chamber and ran to Henwin's enclosure. Eilonwy was still there, watching the oracular pig with interest. You're to stay, Taran cried. I've asked Dalbin. Eilonwy tossed her head.
I suppose, she said, it never occurred to you to ask me.
Yes, but I mean, Taran, he stammered. I didn't think...
You usually don't,
Eilonwy sighed.
No matter, Cole is straightening up a place for me.
Already? Cried Taran. How did he know? How did you know? Cried Eilonwy. Said Henwin. And that is the end of the Book of Three. Now, for fans of the Disney movie of The Black Cauldron, which I'm a huge fan. I love that movie. I'm really sad that they edited that movie to a measly hour and 30 minutes when it could have been a 2-hour epic movie, but hey, anybody can dream. They could totally, with all the Disney live action remakes they're making, they could totally remake that movie and make a 5-film franchise. It would be really successful. Anything is possible, y'all. And of course, I'm not being paid to say this, but if you have not watched the Disney film, go ahead and watch it. It's a really fun adventure movie. It is very much a fantasy adventure. It kind of breaks away the stereotypical tropes of fantasy characters, such as the damsel in distress, the destined hero, the unlikely hero, the whiny side character. It kind of throws those things out of the window to a point. There are some things that still need to be worked on. But yeah, go watch the movie. Seriously, it's a treat. Go ahead and watch it. Stop what you're doing now and go watch. Well, make sure your homework is done. But go ahead and watch it. It's on Disney Plus, The Black Cauldron. Go check it out. Because as you've been following me to read this book, you'll notice some elements of this book, and more than likely the second book, which we'll be reading later tonight. There are some similarities and some pieces that the Imagineers at Disney pulled to make this movie happen. So I wish you all a good night. Well, a good early evening. I'll see you back here at 7:30. I love you all. Bye-bye now.